Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 252. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network. In this show, we'll be discussing some fold-up pistol sights, the Brownells 1911, and a pocket light from Surefire. And as usual, tonight on the podcast, we have Zane, Rob, and Tony. So I'm going to go first on what we did with firearms, and that was nothing. So I figured I'd just get mine out of the way since somebody
got
something.
You did nothing, Chad?
I pretty much did nothing.
Well, I must say, fearless leader, I did follow in your footsteps. I didn't do a whole lot in firearms. I did play with my Mantis X over the weekend, and I had a lot of other stuff going on.
Every other day, it seems like.
No, it's a cool little contraption. I just got to get off my dead butt, and finally now that stuff's going to calm down after the Thanksgiving holiday and write a review on it. But if anybody's thinking about buying it on a Black Friday special, I'd do it. I would highly recommend doing it.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, actually.
They're freaking awesome. But one thing I did do is I had some deer in my freezer, and I went ahead and I did a sous vide on a deer roast. 8 hours at 130 degrees in a sous vide bath. Man, that was nice and very, very nice.
You know, I haven't eaten dinner yet. Thanks.
Hey, I also sous vide a pork shoulder. 10 hours at 170 degrees. Wasn't tough, wasn't gamey, wasn't nothing. Just pulled right apart.
How do I mute Rob now?
I've been wanting to try that sous vide cooking thing. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks pretty interesting.
Freaking awesome. It's basically, for those of you listening, I'm going to try not to turn this into a cooking show, but Rob's Cooking Corner. Sous vide is basically you take a pot of water, you put this heater in it, and you heat it up to whatever temperature you want. Now, I've done like a ribeye steak in there. I want to say I do it about 130 degrees for 2 hours. And when I pull the steak, you basically put the meat into a bag, suck the air out of it, and it's sous vide, I think French for under vacuum. 130 degrees for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Ribeye steak comes out, literally just about falls apart. At that point, all you got to do is...
The thing is, you can't overcook the food because
it can only get to the temperature of the water bath. It'll never get above 130 degrees. So you can literally leave it in there all day, and when you're ready to come home and eat it. Now, what I do when I'm doing a steak, or when I did the deer steak, is I rub it down with olive oil, put some salt, pepper, butter, garlic, whatever spices I want it. Take it out to a searing hot pan and sear it 2 minutes on each side to lock in the flavor. Oh my goodness gracious, that is some good eating right there.
And it cooks even all the way through.
Oh, 100% through, because you're basically cooking it in a water bath.
You don't have, well done on the outside and then rare in the middle.
It's all the way through. And the thing is, when I did that deer shoulder, I just dropped it. It was in a frozen in a vacuum bag. For good measure, I put it in another, just a Ziploc bag, dumped it in there, dead frozen. Just straight frozen right out of the freezer. Boom. 9 hours. I think that one I did 9 hours at 130 degrees. It came out and the darn thing was falling apart while I was trying to prep it for searing. Oh, it was awesome. Very, very good.
On what they did.
Do what?
So who else did something in firearms besides
I did. I don't think I did anything. I got a trigger in for review, but that's it.
And you put it in, and that was about it.
And I put it in and ran a mag through it just to make sure it works. But that's pretty much it.
And so Tony can show us all up. What'd you do?
I taught a class. Sean and I got together and we taught a handgun class. It was next level kind of thing. We had two decent shooters out, but we took them up to the next level. A lot of people go to shoot and luckily at range 14, I find it lucky, they have a 15-yard minimum. So there are no 3-yard snipers at range 14. So what we did was make people shoot smaller and smaller targets, and we ended the night making people shoot headshots at 25. Weak hand only. You know what I mean? People don't do that. People don't try that. So that's what we did, and it was awesome because these were two good shooters. One showed up with a Beretta 92 that he'd had 1,000 or so rounds through over the last few years, or actually way more than that, he said. And then we had a guy show up with a a Glock 17 with a red dot on it. And he also had a Glock like 34 or something with the cutout. I think that's it, the 9mm 34. And so that's what we did. And it was pretty awesome. So it was great teaching people. And we're going to get more of that done soon.
Yeah, those poor people watching.
It's just Matthew. Hey, Matthew.
Everybody's got a light but Rob. We're all like shining him around. I figured I couldn't be left out, so I figured I'd have to do it too. That's pretty cool though, Tony. Shooting like one-handed, either support hand or rig hand.
All my flashlights are out of reach right now, and I'm not going to be the dork that pulls out his cell phone and turns on the camera light, okay?
That would have been funny. Yeah, so yeah, I always like shooting.
There. Happy cell phone camera light.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you look like a dork. You're right.
Yeah, see?
That was before he pulled out his cell phone, right?
Hey, I know all about dorkiness. I was raised a dork, okay? I am a dork.
They would be proud.
Dorky and proud of it, baby.
At least you know.
He's a dork savant.
My dogs don't even like him.
Lordy.
Okay, so I guess we'll get to the announcements. Our bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. So go check them out. Join the patch of the month. The pre-order patch right now is the tactical stocking patch. So if you want to do that, I have not received anything for December, so we're still stuck on the November airplane / pumpkin being shot or whatever it is. And they're pretty cool. We do have a GunTech affiliate link. If you want to check it out, it's in the show notes. If you're shopping at Amazon, you can use the affiliate link there at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you're shopping at the Black Bag Resources place, maybe for Black Friday or something, you can use the code 2A for E, and anything in your cart will be donated to Tony's Diversity Shoots. And now,
disclaimer.
Rob gets to say something special.
Oh, I'm special. This is the only time in the show I'm special. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows.
Sweet.
And now, since we're too lazy to put a main topic together or review, let's go on and talk about the KNS Switch site.
Yeah.
Chad?
Well, you might as well mention the MSRP of $195.
Yeah, $195 for sites to flip up and flip down.
Okay, well, I guess we're done with that.
All right, there you go. Who wants to flip up and flip down sites for your?
Can I just say, when I saw this in here, I just saw the picture and the MSRP and thought we were talking about the whole slide.
No, these are just the sites, brother.
I can understand that, and what they are is KNS has come out with. They're basically flip up sights for a handgun to take the place of like suppressor sights. So if you're running, you need them, you can flip them up. If you don't need them, you can keep them down. So, okay. I mean, I like the idea, but okay, I just don't like the price, but that's just
for $200.
Yeah. They're black nitride finish, and basically I'll explain a little bit more about them. You guys have probably heard about them, but if you haven't, KNS teamed up with Dead Air Silencers to do this. So you could probably, basically for suppressor use, not so much for the RMR style dot sight use. And I can see it more with the suppressors, but I mean, basically they're a flip up sight. I don't know. I have not seen them. They look like a 3-dot system is basically what they are. 3-dot white dot. And the front flips up in the little sight holder or flips down. Back's the same thing. I don't know what else to say about them, except I don't know how sturdy they would be. I mean, it looks like a pin holds them in. So they're going to be somewhat sturdy, but I don't know how sturdy. And they're $195, and that's the one that gets me. I mean, suppressor sights cost what? $100?
No, you can get Ameriglow blacked outs for
That's
like
right.
30, 35
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah.
And if you're running an RMR, I don't see much reason to have anything other than black sights personally.
Well,
but
and the thing is that's how I see it. And I mean, even if you want, say, tritium ones, you're still not going to have terrible amounts of cost compared to this. That's how I see it. But some people don't like the higher sight over bore axis. I'm thinking to myself, it's like 3/8 of an inch, so more than
that bad.
a regular.
Here's kind of my thoughts on it. If it's for a suppressor, if you have a suppressor and you have a gun, put regular height sights on it and go out and shoot. You'll be amazed. You can hit what you're aiming at because of the bending aiming concept.
Well,
you just line up the sights.
Both eyes open, yes.
Right. Not even that.
Yeah.
It's that, but you just line up the sights and show your target with the can, but you can still superimpose it over what you want to hit. You're still going to get your hits. Concerned with you don't like the height from regular height sights. As for use with an RMR, they don't really obstruct the view that bad. I've shot several different guns that have different optics, not even just RMRs, and I didn't notice the suppressor height sights. They don't bother me. You're looking at your target anyways. If you're using it properly, you're not looking at the dot. You're looking at the target and superimposing the dot. So again, not necessary. And the whole idea with flip ups are on a rifle. They make sense because rifles are for gunfighting. Pistols are for defense. So if you got time to start flipping up sights on your gun, like when your sight goes down, it'll be over. With a rifle, it makes sense because you might actively be doing some things if you're law enforcement, military, whatever. Well, I just think this is a huge swing and a miss.
I kind of think so too. And to go along with your point, I have that Holosun, small red dot mounted on my G19 slide, and that they sent for review. And I'm just running normal height sights because that's what was on it. And when I went to zero the red dot after I put it on, I just picked a point, 15 yards out there or whatever, backyard, but and just kind of lined up the sights like you said, like with a suppressor, even though they were obstructed by the Holosun. And then I just adjusted the dot on the Holosun until it was pretty much aiming the same spot as the regular sights. And it was like a half inch off when I took it to the range. So, I understand what you're saying is that it's not a necessity that's always needed.
This thing seemed to me they were looking. It looked like one of the problems you'd have on those made-for-TV products. You don't know how to strain spaghetti, so for $19.99 you can get two of these things to show you how to strain spaghetti.
Oh, if you're like you wind the handle and it twists.
Yeah. So now I need flip-up sights. I need flip-up sights for my Glock because they get in. I can use them when I use my suppressor. Well, you're coming at it from a suppressor angle because you did this with a suppressor company. What happens when I take my suppressor off? Well, I have these flip-up sights. Like I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, yeah. So do they flip down when I stick them in the holster or when I pull out of the holster? Or do I have to and how long is it going to take you in an emergency situation? Because they're my backup sights. How long are they going to take me to flip up if I'm in a gunfight? I just don't have sights, I guess, until I flip them up if they flip down. Look, dude, I mean, great product. Go ahead if you want to spend the extra money on it. I don't see it as being a problem. We're about 110 years into having suppressors on pistols. But it's cool you came up with something else to put on top of suppressed pistol.
Yeah.
That's great.
I probably
I
won't
don't
mess with
poo-poo
this.
on your business. I just don't I don't see a need for it.
Well, and,
I'll be
and
honest with you.
go ahead.
With the cans I've got, I've never really once thought about carrying my suppressor for defensive purposes.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of ungainly to carry inside the waistband, outside the waistband, or otherwise, my suppressors are pretty much range toys,
Right. And I was going to say, like, to go off of what Tony was saying, is K&S makes good stuff. So it's not, I'm sure they're quality, because 99% of the stuff I know of they make, it has good reputation.
I hope I didn't give the impression that it was garbage, like not a good product.
No, you didn't. I just wanted to, mention, because you kind of glanced over it as you were saying.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, yes, I mean, my opinion is K&S makes good stuff. It's just, I don't think this is a hit. That's just me.
Well, it's almost like they're solving they're giving us a solution to a problem that really isn't that big a deal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the logic if you're telling me that you came up with it because of the RMR. Like, have a flip-up backup sight for your pistol because you have one for your rifle for your RMR, so why wouldn't you have one for your handgun? I get it. I don't think it. I mean, to the point now, red dots, RMRs, that whole optic game are so solid that you're really not having problems with them. I think you're getting to the point where really having irons backup sights is kind of a redundancy that doesn't need to happen, because you obviously don't have iron backup sights to your iron sights, but somehow you need backup sights to optics that just don't die almost at this point.
I don't know. I understand, and I kind of understand the concept of, if you're running some sort of red dot sight and it goes down, then flipping the sights up as opposed to having them in your field of view all the time. Like a rifle, like flip up rifle sights. I understand it, and for a pistol, I can understand it for the same concept, and I just don't think I understand it at this price point.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Okay. But understand, I have one rifle with fixed sights that I ran optic on, and I have another one with no backup iron sights and just an optic. I put enough rounds through it, enough time on it, banged it around, dropped. I mean, this is me we're talking about here.
Right.
And
the man who broke high point.
Dude, I've broken stuff. And I've used that high point warranty. They couldn't believe it either. But I didn't break the hollow sends. I've dropped the bags. I've banged them around. I've swapped them from gun to gun. I've let rank amateurs use them. I haven't broken it yet. I haven't even had it blink on me yet. So, yeah, I do have one with fixed iron sights, and I do have one without iron sights at all. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just talking about iron sights. What's up, man?
What's the Holosun? What's that used for battery? The 2032?
Yep.
What do they say lifetime on that battery is?
50,000 hours.
Uh-huh.
On
so as long as you change the battery out once every other year, you'll probably never have an issue.
Well, and the thing is the ones. Tony's holding up my favorite. I have a pack of those too. But the thing is, like the Holosun, if you they make different models. We're going off on a tangent, but the ones with the solar, depending on the weather and the light, they don't even. You can take the battery out and just run them on the solar if you want.
Yeah, I have one with the solar and one with battery power.
Right.
Yeah, but
and understand. Dual power?
Yes.
Yeah, solar's dual power.
Oh, that's what.
But understand, I have an 8-pack of 2032s. Hey, so I understand things happen.
Those numbers up. I have like a 24-pack, and
Tony, you're getting showed up there, brother.
Well, you guys know I love those batteries, so.
He's like, "Is that all? Come on, man."
Okay, well, now we're going to go on to something else that has no batteries, and it is Brownells brought out their new retro line. It's their BRN 1911.
It's so retro.
It's retro being what, 80s?
Yeah, it's 70s, 80s retro.
It has an MSRP of $24.99.99. And to understand the price, you have to understand that it is in partnership with Ed Brown. So it's basically an Ed Brown pistol that Brownells had spec'd out and is making or having made. So this is your standard, pretty much 1911 custom. It's 45 ACP, 7+1 rounds, full size, weighs 2.4 pounds. It fixed front sight, adjustable Bomar rear sight, which are pretty much indestructible adjustable sights. Let's see. It is a standard single action. It comes with wood, however you pronounce those grips. It's 416 stainless frame, 4140 carbon steel slide, which is blued, 416 stainless match grade barrel, adjustable target trigger, all Ed Brown. None of them are MIM parts. They are all machined parts. The Bomar is cut into the frame to get it lower. It has an arched mainspring housing with smooth grooves in it. It has your normal, beaver tail, commander style. I say that loosely, hammer. It has really nice 25 lines per inch checkering on the front strap, which looks very nice. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? I am not forgetting anything, but this thing is beautiful by the looks of it. Being an Ed Brown gun, it's probably worth every penny. It does look like you said, like it's a custom style 70s, 80s, 1911. It's pretty. It's not over the top. It's still got it only has rear cocking serrations, and they're the small, straight up and down, like your standard old 1911 has. I don't know what else to say except it's pretty, and Brownells always does good by their stuff. So, I think it'll probably sell okay.
Well, I put in some work on this one because I wanted to know. So I saw it the first time on TGC. Yeah, the Gun Collective. So I dove into it then, and I didn't know at the time that you were going to actually be talking about this too and have it in the show notes. Mainly, you had it in the show notes probably before they did. Anyway, my show notes were in my spam folder, so I didn't see them till this
morning. As always.
Wow, man.
Where are my show notes?
Yeah. Dude. Anyway, that's some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, normally
so I looked into it.
Show notes, Chad. Please send me the show notes.
Because in my mind, I'm like, why would I do $2,500 for an Ed Brown pistol that doesn't say Ed Brown on the side? Because I'm getting it from Brownells. You know what I mean? Because part of the, hey, I have an Ed Brown is it says Ed Brown. It's some of the bragging that you do when you spend custom pistol money. And then, of course, the other thing that popped in my head was this isn't a custom pistol. Custom pistol is one I've customized, not one you've put together. And when these are the custom pistols from Ed Brown, like that's just a factory gun. Then I had no input on it. My only input is 1 or 2. I mean, that's my only input. How many to get? So, I mean, that's the way I looked at it, and I'm trying to put it together in my head because I'm not even going on the cost because Ed Brown pistols start at $2,700 to $3,000.
Right.
All right. So, okay, this one is a Brownells gun. So I called my friend Les Schaefer, who builds custom pistols at Schaefer Precision Gunworks, and we had this discussion. He was like, this is an Ed Brown gun. This is put together by Ed Brown and his people. He doesn't put together garbage. So we were discussing it, and he was like, they don't use MIM parts. So what you're getting is an Ed Brown gun built at the Ed Brown factory with no input from you as the consumer, but this is what you're getting. So I typed this in the my comments on TGC's video. I think this is a small market niche that people probably don't get into a lot, and it's custom guns at that beginning entry level price point. Like you can spend on a high end SIG 1911 or a high end Smith and Wesson
You can buy a
or Colt. What was that?
You could buy a Cabot.
No. I'm talking about, but as much as you're probably going to spend on those guns is $1,700.
Oh,
But if you want to go to that next level, you're going to have to add another $2,000.
Yes.
But this with Brownells gets you in at $2,500, which is $1,000 cheaper. So you can now check it out, buy your Brownells, and go, is this custom gun worth it? Because it is an Ed Brown custom gun. It's just no parts you picked out. It's just an Ed Brown custom gun. You know what I mean? He picked out the parts. He makes it. It's a retro gun. And you go, okay, I spent $1,000 extra. You know what I mean? I sold like one of my 4 Glocks. I sold 4 of my Glocks that were all the same. And
Right.
I was able to buy this Ed Brown custom. And now I can compare it to, my SIG Spartan. I can compare it to my Smith & Wesson 1911 from the Performance Center. Is it any better? And you're not way deep into it. You're not $4,000 deep into it where it has to be better, even if it isn't. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I've yet to watch a video from a dude that bought a custom gun that didn't say it was so much better than every other 1911 out there. Because you spent the money. You can't say it's just as good.
That'd be what I really like to do, Tony, is get a couple of these really high-end guns and mix them in with some just regular guns, not because I'm not a big 1911 fan. I own 1911s. I'm like not the super geeky fan guy for 1911s, and just try to shoot them together without knowing which is high end, which is normal end, and see if I can tell a difference. Well,
here's the thing, and I really 100% believe this. It's not just the shooting of the gun that's the difference between them. It's tolerances, fit and finish, clearances, that kind of thing makes the difference between let's say you got a Cadillac. It's the difference between a Cadillac and a Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, both of them are luxury cars, but one is on another level. Now, yeah, you spend $500 on an entry-level 1911. You can tell the difference between an entry-level 1911 and, let's say, a Springfield Armory range officer or something in the $1,000 price range. You could really see the difference, even if you aren't into this, between the lower level and the mid-level.
Yeah, when you can tell the differences.
Yeah, but when you go from the $1,000 gun to the $3,000 gun, the differences aren't as many. I mean, and then you get into parts. You get into like, did it come off a line where 20 people put in 20 different parts to make the 1911, or did one guy make the 1911? Then you get into hand fitting, hand polishing. The striations on the front, are they done by a machine or are they done by a guy with a file? You know what I mean? You start to get into such minutia, and also work hours, man hours. I mean, if you have one dude putting in 20 to 40 hours on a pistol, they're going to charge for that. I mean, as a locksmith, we were doing $90 an hour. So think about that.
Well, that was back in like the 1880s, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was that and wampum.
But yeah, and that's the thing is, in some of these pistols like these, it's not just that you can see the difference. You can actually, like, when you pick it up, you can feel it. It's kind of hard to explain. I mean, you can kind of feel, oh, okay, this feels different than, like, say, the $1,000 gun. It just has a different, smoother feel to it. You don't feel anything really. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but I mean, if you see one at a gun store or something, pick one up.
I mean,
just to hold it, and then like maybe pick one of the $700 ones up, and you can feel a difference.
You could run the slide on each of them and feel that difference many times. You can feel it in the trigger pull. Sometimes, because I was talking to Les about that, and he said, yeah, well, some of these things, it works out later on that how long they last, how long they stay tight. how long they keep shooting those tight groups compared to, the one you bought that was $700-800 kept tight groups or ran in a class up until it just stopped working.
Right.
I mean, there is a difference. It might be nuanced and some people will never see it, and that's cool. But I think if this works out, all of a sudden we're going to find a Midway USA Les Bear 1911. Or
wow. You think Les Bear do that?
I don't know if Les Bear do that, but I mean, look, Wilson Combat has gotten with Beretta. You never know. I mean, if it starts, because think about it. Ed Brown has an entire line of guns on different ranges. I'm thinking it's like 30, 40 guns. I mean, he's got SKUs out to yin yang. You can mix and match. So he gets one gun, one list of parts, and puts that together. He can sell it for less than he sells the other guns. Brownells gets their piece. Ed gets his piece, and you get a custom 1911 that's hand built with steel parts, not mem parts. It's kind of a win-win all the way across the board. Because other than that, what you'll do is you buy something like a Springfield Armory range officer. You buy a Springfield Armory, what's that, TRP?
Yeah.
And then you take it into a gunsmith and have trigger work done on it and another $1,000 of stuff added to it to make it just as good as the custom pistol that you really wanted. You already spent the money. So
yeah, and Zane left us, so
yeah. Or
so
otherwise, that's why we're not hearing about. It's still going to be a GM-O-Matic.
That's why. Well, that's why we can. That's why we can talk about Springfield and 1911s.
Oh yeah. I just heard somebody ranting about Springfield 1911s in a video today. Excuse me, Springfield guns, traitors. They're all traitors. Okay.
Oh dear God.
Okay. Well, next is a pocket
flashlight,
which I could see this flashlight being a good use for Tony. I mean, it looks like something. It's the Surefire Stiletto. It has an MSRP of $109. It's basically Surefire's new multi-output pocket flashlight. It has high, medium, and low of 650 lumens, 250 lumens, and 5 lumens. It is USB rechargeable, so pretty much any style phone charger, etc., you can charge it with. It runs, they say, 1 3/4 hours on the 650, 2 hours on the 250, and 30 on the 5. It is 4.5 inches long, and it weighs 2.8 ounces. It looks like it has like a max, but a tactical switch that you can push that's high output only. I'm assuming that's like the raised one. And then it also has one that you can like cycle through them and choose which one you want. It is an LED. It has their max vision beam reflector, which you'd have to see it to see if you like it or not. Tony's drinking too much.
Excuse you, Tony.
Like I said, the primary switch activates the high, medium, low, and then the tactical switch operates the high. If you need it, programming switch unlocks activation sequences to choose between tactical and or task illumination preferences. Like I said, it's micro USB rechargeable. I saw they came out with this, and it's kind of a not your typical design. It's more of a flat design with the buttons on top, and you just kind of hold it like that style. It's not super expensive for Surefire. It seemed like a decent light, if that's kind of something you want just to throw in your pocket. I did not see if it had a belt clip on it. It does. It does. So
it has a pocket clip.
Okay, that's what I meant. Well, it's either one, I guess. So it does have a pocket clip. I kind of liked it. I mean, I have a flashlight that does everything it does for the most part, but is, cheaper, less expensive. But hey, if this is the style you want, go for it. They make good lights. I don't know what you guys think about it, but
I think it's a Surefire. It costs too much money. I their stuff does cost. Okay, it's 2 ounces. I was wondering. I'm like, where's this weight? Because you're telling me it's lightweight, but I'm not finding it. All right. Okay. It looks like a small remote control. It
Yeah,
really
that's a good
does.
definition.
It looks like a small remote control from like AV class back in the day. You know, it would only like up, down, stop, and
Yeah, like
reverse.
for my grandfather's TV set.
I
On the clicker.
I don't know. I want to pull this out and like, say it's a phaser and phase someone with it. It's kind of futuristic.
Yeah, that's
looking.
what it looks like also too. It's got a cool look to it. I mean, it also you can recharge the lithium battery with a USB, and it has a fuel gauge on it, so you can check out and see like where you're at. Um, Again, the only thing I say about Surefire is they cost a lot of money, and I still see them go down in classes. But a light's a light, and if you want to drop $100 on a Surefire, especially now when it's coming up on Black Friday, you may be able to get it even less for even less. Especially, I know Optics Planet sells stuff like this, so yeah, you want to get in on it, get in on it. It's flat. It's not one that you can use to bash someone in the face. So at least kind of maybe the industry's walking away from using your light as a weapon because they're making them smaller and brighter, and then you have a beveled edge on it that won't reach outside your hand. I mean, I'm holding mine right now, and it's just not doing what they were back in the day.
What?
I guess I have grown
Yeah,
up
but Tony,
hands.
your hand's twice the size of Chad's.
Or 3 times.
Well, wow. What do you have? What is that? What flashlight was that?
That's the Nightstick 556 XL. It's their USB.
Okay.
It's their USB rechargeable one. It's like
So
800. No, it's
no, it's a nightstick.
850 lumens, I think, on high.
Yeah, I have that one I have the 850 in my bag. Yeah, you can scrub somebody's nose off with that grenade-like grip on it, though. You could peel potatoes with that sucker.
This one's not as bad though.
No,
I mean,
I
it's
liked it because it was grippy, so I didn't have to worry about dropping it. As far as the Surefire goes, I guess it's cool. They have another small one that's 350 lumens that looks like it goes on the keychain to your car.
Yeah,
I like what they're doing. It's giving it a new design for the people that don't want to look like Tactical Timmy walking around with a flashlight clipped to your 511 pants. I mean, even in their commercial, they have the dead bird shirt. Like the guy has, I forgot the name of this company, but yeah, he had to get the emblem of the dead bird in with the flashlight because it's a Surefire and it's all zippered up jacket. It's just Surefire has gotten to the point it's oh so tactical that it's almost become a joke of itself.
Yeah.
So this is stepping away from that a little bit.
Yeah, because I can see the appeal for somebody that wants a bright flashlight that doesn't want the tactical look because this is not tactical looking. So,
no.
And that's fine. I mean, I think everybody should have a flashlight. That's just my opinion.
The nice thing about this is USB rechargeable, so you don't have to worry about buying batteries.
Yep.
What kind of batteries do you use? Does it say?
I couldn't find it, but
it's probably some kind of built-in, probably lithium ion.
Yeah, it's a lithium polymer battery.
Yeah, but that's all it really
I don't know
says.
what that means.
that's
all it says.
Yeah.
And then the parts and accessories, it
battery.
Well, no, I'm saying under parts and accessories, it doesn't tell you like what battery to use if you want to get another one.
Right. So
yeah,
that's always.
So anyway, I think it's cool. Another flashlight from Surefire is great because next year I can get one from Streamlight that's just like this for half the price.
And yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, well, I grabbed another question from our listener feedback stuff, and so tonight's question is from Ryan B. And it says, with all the optics you guys have tried, do you guys have any micro red dot suggestions for pistols and shotguns? Intended use 3-gun. And I think Tony and I are going to have the same suggestions, but
yeah. My suggestion would be, and only based on what I've used, go with Holosun. Because
How?
the Bushnell I have is blinky rinky. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Don't go with cheap optics. Go with good optics.
Well, the thing
And
too
I
is he's
feel
looking for 3-gun for a shotgun.
okay.
And shotguns are going to beat the crap out of any lower grade optics, right?
Yeah,
I think
I
shotgun's
mean,
going to beat anything up.
yeah,
It's going to beat anything up. Now, can whatever you use take it? And I haven't done it, so I can't say I have shot it. But aim point
right.
is what a lot of people use. So yeah, if you have aim point money, spend aim point money. I don't think you're going to go horribly wrong with a Holosun at all for a third of the price of an aim point.
Yeah, that's and Holosun has so many options from their, small RMR size pistol dot, which also comes with a rail if you buy it, so you can mount it to a shotgun or a rifle. You'd need a riser for a rifle, but so you could just try it on both. That's kind of what I was thinking. Vortex has offerings, but I'm I'm sold on the Holosuns. Everyone I've ever used or tried has pretty much. Tony hasn't destroyed his yet, so that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, I haven't tried a
I've broke.
Vortex. I've got a Burst Fast Fire 2 and a Fast Fire 3, and they're decent sights.
Okay.
But for the price, yeah, I've had those for about 3 or 4 years now. But for the price, I don't know. Holosun, I might be giving a Holosun a try pretty soon.
You can get their like 403s, the battery powered red dots for like $120. So after Thanksgiving sales, you could probably get one for $100 if you look around.
Yeah.
Which is a steal really for what you get. My only other suggestion, and this is for the one reason because it's for 3-gun, would be a Seymour, because you can buy the different size dots or diodes or whatever they call them in that. And they've been running those things forever. So, and of course they're more expensive, but they have advantages in with that you can change the dot size just by changing one little part. Tony's dry firing over there, so I guess he's done.
Yeah, he's on mute.
I mean, I guess he didn't care anymore. Listener feedback. I did not check to see if we had listener feedback because my other computer was, being used. So
Yeah, that's what she said.
No, that's who used it. And so we may have some. I don't know. If we do, we'll read it another week. So Tony, it's all you.
All right. December 6th is coming up really quick, fellas. So guys and girls, if you want to come to our diversity shoot, get online, buy a ticket now. We're going to have some great food. We're going to have some cool guns. I've had guys reaching out to me all month long. They want to come out and actually introduce people to their guns. We had a 223 AK the last time. That was awesome. Just different types of guns. I have no idea what I'm going to bring this time, but I can't wait. I can't wait to introduce new people to firearms. Can't wait to have the prizes given out. Got some cool headphones coming in from Joe Savio over at Modern Material, which is Jersey's AR builder. So he's going to donate stuff to us. It's a unique event to bring people from every background, regardless of your race, your gender, your sexual orientation, your political background. Everyone is welcome because we're trying to introduce you to Second Amendment law, what's happening in this state. Also get you to shoot guns for real and actually meet firearms owners so you can see through the bullcrap that the mainstream media is shoving down people's throats. So my whole mission is to introduce people to each other, to introduce you to Second Amendment groups, to tell you what's really happening in the state with the law and the illegal things the governor is actually doing that people in the media won't talk about. Like encouraging people to actually encouraging police chiefs to violate the law and take over 30 days to approve you with your pistol purchase permit. that's against the law. So we talk about that, and we talk about what you can do about that. We give you good information, and we introduce you to other shooters. If you're a shooter, we introduce you to Second Amendment groups if you've never even met them. So it's time for Second Amendment groups to put their face on, best faced on, and come out. Like the NRA ILA is actually going to be there giving stuff away, including information. So yeah, December 6th, Gun for Hire Range, 6 p.m. You can purchase tickets on Eventbrite. You can check us out at The Second is for Everyone on Facebook, Simon Says Train on Facebook, Simon Says Train on Instagram, The Second for Everyone on Twitter. You can also go to diversityshoot.com. You can donate on our GoFundMe page, which is The Second is for Everyone. Become a Patreon at The Second is for Everyone podcast. I think that's almost every outlet you can reach us in. Oh, and you can email me at tony@diversityshoot.com. So that's it. As always, thank you guys. I really appreciate being able to come out here every week and talk to you.
You know, and if you can't remember any of that, you can always email us here, and I might forward it to Tony if I get around to it. I'm thinking next week we're going to do some sort of Christmas present / what we would like show. So that's what we're probably going to do next week. Maybe.
So are you going to put a limit on these Christmas presents?
No, the limit's going to be like we each choose like 5 things.
Oh, I know, like a price.
Oh,
limit.
wow.
No.
5 things? Good Lord.
Well, yeah, we're just going to rip through them pretty quick. It's more of a, it's not a, we're going to discuss them all. We're just going to say highlights or something about them. No, but maybe choose something. You can maybe start with something lower priced and move up.
Okay, I know what I'm doing.
So if you want to put a GE minigun on there, okay.
or that new SCAR.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Believe it or
SCAR
not.
that gives you 4 more inches of barrel for $1,000 more.
No, it's like $2 or $3 grand. A regular SCAR is like $3 grand almost. This one's $5.
Yeah, that
right?
one's it's like $2 grand more.
Yeah,
Comes
you
with
get a really cool carrying case.
Yeah, you get a
stupid
case
box.
and whatever. It's still multicolored.
Oh yeah, the multi-flat dark earth cam thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Unless you want to complain about Tony, and then just send it to him.
Yep, because I'll ignore you.
Yes. And I'll forward it to him so that he doesn't ignore us. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit us at the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. You can probably find us that way. And thanks for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.